You ready to explore new innovative ways to carry the gospel of Jesus Christ to the world? Have you ever thought about having a television ministry? Were you reluctant because of pricing? Did it seem too costly for your ministry? If I told you that television is affordable, and that there is a solution within your budget, would you be interested? There is an affordable solution for your ministry. It's Clarity IBN. Clarity is an affordable option for you to be on television. You can reach the world for Jesus without breaking your budget. Go now. Go to clarityibn.org. Fill out the contact form, and a representative from Clarity IBN will email you on how you can be on television affordably. Don't wait, don't procrastinate. Do it now. Go to clarityibn.org and get started.
A moment of truth opened up my eyes. A moment of truth. A moment of truth, like the sunrise. A moment of truth. It's a new today. The world has made me new. My life is better. I finally found my way. A moment of truth made me realize. A moment of truth.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Truth. This is Live with your host, Dr. Harold G. Davis Jr. Might have a little echo because I'm in an empty room. It's a big living room, but it's empty. Oh, I got to get comfortable because I'm sitting on the floor, a tile floor at that. Anyway, good evening, everybody. So good to have you on tonight, and hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Had a lot going on, and I'm in Houston, Texas right now, and but thank the Lord, things are going well. I want to just kind of talk about some stuff tonight. Let me move this computer. It's a lot going on. Y'all know I into what's the word I'm looking for? That I'm doing, Devin, and working on the house in Houston. Good to see everyone that is on. And, from time to time, I'm always doing research and looking at what others are and what's happening on social. Well, I heard some stuff this weekend. I don't know, y'all. I really believe that the world spiritual, what's the word I'm looking for? Mental, what's the word? Therapy. They need some spiritual mental therapy. Individuals who are claiming to know God, that Jesus is their Savior, but then making statements like that Jesus that was supposedly born, is that Jesus you believe in? And then saying, well, how do you believe in that Jesus when his daddy committed adultery? Y'all, I can't make this. And then the same guy says in his broadcast before that Jesus might have been gay. And I believe he's saying that because he is. Every other word is cutting out. Oh, no, not that again. Oh, hold on a minute, y'all. Let me try something here. I did bring a mic with me. Hold on. I can plug it in. I don't know if I brought cord. Because I brought some stuff with me. I was having problems over at the. I was trying to stream from last week. And it wouldn't work. Let's see. There's the mic. I need to find the. Hold on 1 second, Devin. I'm trying to. Hello, quick. Find this adapter. I brought it with me to the job because I was leaving here last week trying to get back in time, but I wasn't. Now, where is? I didn't bring the audio adapter, so y'all just hold on. I'm trying to defeat. Okay, let me post a note here. To correct the audio. One moment. Okay, let me pull it up now. I know I came, I saw it in here the other day. This it? Oh, this the iRig. But I don't think I have the. Oh, I might. Hold on. I might have what I need for that. This is. Oh no, the tip is broken. Jesus Christ. Okay, hold on. I'm going to try to get through this. Oh, I think I have it. Just a second. All right. But if I do, I'm going to have to log off and log back in. All right. So you guys hold on. One moment. Now, I got to change the mic. I don't think somebody's calling me. Yes, sir. It did? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sir? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, Samuel, say we good. All right, so, and then too, there's a different monitor I'm watching you guys on, so I need to turn another, put it on my phone, I can see your, earlier. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, there's this big issue going on with individuals, and the sad thing is that these comments, Jesus, and they are missing the point. Yeah, they're missing the point because they're not listening to the truth. The fact is, you know, to make statements that God committed adultery, that Jesus was probably a homosexual, and you know, and I'm not even going to read some just off the top. It just bothers these people are blasphemous that way, and would blaspheme the one that they say is their savior. There's a big issue with that and a big problem. Anyway, y'all had a wonderful weekend. A lot of memorials this weekend. Of course, you know, every time we get around to 9/11, what has it been, 20 years now? Something like that, 20, 22. But just remember, though, some are still suffering even after all that time. But I want to get into our lesson tonight. Back in the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, and we were dealing with cultivating good behavior. That is something, as believers, that I am seeing a lot of the effect of failing to cultivate their behavior. Your behavior is important, and that you have ethics, integrity, credibility, and accountability. See, when you here's the thing. You make affect you in, and what you've done in your past is affecting you in your present. So there's hurdles we have to overcome because of the bad choices we made in the past, and so we the present generation how to avoid that to go into. Unfortunately, they're just as hard-headed as we were. They don't listen. You know, we used to think that, you know, well, you just don't understand. It ain't the same. And you know, you're not listening. And it ain't saying. Yeah, it's all the same. Wrong is wrong, sin is sin, con is a con, wickedness is wickedness. But the problem is, it's getting worse. The other day, a young man in Memphis, black young man, went on a killing rampage. We didn't hear about in the black community years ago. Why is it so prevalent now? We're getting wiser and weaker. We have more information, but not making good decisions. Who was it? This morning on the way to the job, my sister was playing the end of the sermon from, what's his name? Al Sharpton from yesterday. He was here in Houston at a very Baptist church. And he was the speaker, yes. He made some powerful points. And it was about the so-called reality shows. Now, I talked about them the other week, you know, and I know you guys are watching for entertainment. It's not entertainment when you see in our culture being presented in such a way. That is not entertainment. And especially when they're orchestrating this, calling it reality TV, reality. Now, here's the thing. They understood the warfare. Part of that warfare would say is Satan is battling us over reality. Yeah. He's trying to make us think that what we know is real isn't real, and that something else is really going on. And then there's all this confusion and misunderstanding and mislabeling of truth amongst the church. And I can't stress this enough. We need to go back to when we were held to a real strict standard of holiness. Now, I know there were some things that they were telling us you couldn't do or shouldn't do. You know, you couldn't go to a ball game. Okay, we got past all that. But that didn't mean we had to go back to our sinful days. You see, I describe it this way. A man meets a woman, they get into a real serious relationship, and now he wants to marry her, or just say take it to the next level of commitment, and eventually marry her. And her stipulation is, well, you know, you can't see anyone else, but in this relationship, it's got to be a monogamous relationship. That's fair. That's right. Now, the thing is that being in that relationship and keeping the parameters of that monogamy, and then they eventually get married. He has her. Does he have the right to go back? How do you think she will feel if he goes back to the way he was living before he was monogamous with her? Do you think she's going to accept him, you know, being polygamous? Of course not. Same thing. If we have to meet a certain standard in order to be saved, how do we it's okay to lower that standard and still call we're saved by going back and living the lifestyle we were living before we come to Christ? I got a serious issue with that. How do you do that? And then how do you get into certain situations without considering all of the consequences? Okay? Now, if you cultivate a good behavior, that means you have to start practicing to do things right and not be brash, rude, disrespectful. And in cultivating a good behavior, you have to, watch this, realize who you're in a relationship with. You're in a relationship with God. And in that relationship, you are now required to hold up a certain standard before God and before people, because you represent God to the world. See, it's like when, we were children and we would go out, and if we did something wrong or acted up, people would ask, well, who's, or they say, isn't your mother or your father? Now I know they taught you better than that. See, you are a reflection connected to a relationship. You do not cultivate good behavior and cultivate habits, you bring shame. We read that earlier in the first few chapters in Proverbs, that a good son makes his mother proud. No, mixes not a dry, but a bad shame. Come on now, we got to realize we represent God. The fact that we represent God, we have to make sure that we are not disrespecting Him because we won't do the right thing. Got to cultivate good behavior. Now, how do we do that? Well, Proverbs is saying that we need to learn how to conduct ourselves in a certain manner, and we need to realize that in conducting ourselves in a certain manner, what we're really doing is we're cultivating also our relationship. Yeah, and the conduct. I'm trying to phrase this right. This applies to every aspect of our life. We're at church and with the church folks. See, some folks will only act like church hours. They don't have to say on their job or when they go to these. Like I'm attending end of this month. I'm attending 60th. Yeah, I think it's 50. Yeah, my 50th class reunion. 50 years. We've been out 50 years there this year. Now, I can't go there. Matter of fact, I got an email the other day. Saying that one of the coordinators saw that I had signed up to go, and so they put a request situation. I'm sitting on this hard tile floor. Okay. Anyway, so they saw that I had signed up to go, and so they emailed the request for me to do the opening prayer and to bless the food. Now, they're expecting Pastor Davis to show up. They're not expecting Harold Davis from 1972. They're not expecting him to show up. They're expecting the pastor. That means I have to practice. See, my behavior has to be represented in all aspects of my life. I can't act right when I'm around church people. I need to act right and accordingly wherever I am. And the sad thing is, it looks like is my motor freezing? Like, the signal's going down. Okay. How does it look, y'all? That and level of ethics should be maintained by anyone who calls himself a preacher, a man of God, a woman of God, child of God. Everyone has a level of decorum and of ethics that they should trade at all times. Any kind of way. As a matter of fact, we can't afford, because here is the truth. It time to build a reputation, but you can lose it in a moment. Case in point. Will Smith lost a lot of credibility, and his status in action when he got up and went on that stage and slapped. When he did that, he lost ability. Yeah. All the years that he had, done, been in the limelight, starting all those movies, paying for himself, the act that he committed on that evening did a lot of damage. And now they have people who do what they call damage control. But that's going to be hard to recover from. Very difficult because of the magnitude of the insurrection that he committed. He got a lot to recover from. A lot to recover from. All right, you all tell me, how does the sound now? Because it's glitching on my end. Just type in the chat on YouTube that you guys are still hearing me. So I know that everything is still well, because it just blacked out a moment ago. All right, so I just want to say. Yeah, but, we have to really be careful and cautious. What we do, how we do, when we do, where we do it, and the fact that we to a goal, and in order to maintain a godly reputation, we must keep check and be our own police. We got to police ourselves. We got to make sure we checking ourselves, and listen, certain, especially when you're out in public, you got to leave that dumb, ignorant disrespect. Leave it at home in the backyard. Because sometimes, even at home, there's some things we do we shouldn't do. Good should be practiced at all times. I've those. Always be up front. Always be, and always, face the challenge. Yes, it's sometimes gonna be hard. You're gonna have to, disappoint some people. You intended to do. Something comes up, you can't. Don't avoid them. Tell them, listen, this is what happened. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I need time. That's all it is. And it's because they will misconstrue your situation as avoidance or disrespect, even if for a reason, because all and they won't excuse you. So even having valid reason, still gotta just follow where they made responsibility to be ethical. Yeah. And have a moral compass. Learn to develop and practice good behavior. There's nothing wrong with having good behavior. All people think it is, and one of the excuses they use, well, I'm keeping it 100. Keeping it 100 doesn't mean you're excused to do something you shouldn't. That's not keeping it 100. No. And so we have to walk cautiously. Beware of and evil behavior. Be your own police. Watch yourself. You're not guilty of these infractions, and doing things you shouldn't be doing. Sure, you're managing keeping your integrity and your ethics and your morals intact. See, requires this of us. He really requires us to and do right. This is a requirement. So watch out for that foolish and evil behavior. And listen, watch out for in yourself before you start watching in others. Some busy looking at all of the problems and issues in other people, and we fail to keep check on ourselves. You're gonna be the police yourself. Don't be so quick to police, and then you won't police yourself. Police yourself first. Keep yourself in order. What that song says, sweep around your own front door before you sweep around mine. Beware of foolish and evil behavior. And how do we do that? We have to act wisely and avoid that behavior. Yeah, avoid it. Shun the very appearance of evil. Run away from it. Don't run to it. Avoid it as much as you can. Because here's the sad thing. The sad thing is that people remember you more negative stuff you do than the positive stuff. Share the negative things you do more than they will the positive things that you do. So act wise and reject bad behavior. Now, here's my last point for the night. In doing this, overview of the 17th chapter of Proverbs. In order to do this, and I've been talking about how to please yourself, you absolutely be in control and your temper. See, most people lose out because they don't control their anger. It's hard out. Control their anger. See, when you act out of anger and you don't control your mouth, you're in a whole lot of trouble. Yeah, you bring grief upon yourself because you can't. He already told you. The tongue is unruly member. So the tame. Some folks just want to run their mouth. I remember in ROTC, Sergeant would always say, "You got diarrhea?" I talk all the time. See, listen. Control your speech and your temper. When you act out of anger, you act rationally. An angry man is not a rational man. Because an angry man wants action. He wants to happen. He's vengeful. He's not thinking about fairness or grace or mercy. And he's sure not contemplating forgiveness because he's off of revenge and action. control your, learn how to control your temper. You know, out the hand and say anything. And I don't care if it's even true. Some things that have doesn't mean they need to be time or context that they are spoken, because it's respectful, it's insightful, it can sow seeds of discord. There's some things that are true that you may even know, but not spoken. There's some things he said that we shouldn't even name named among us, because keep integrity and be ethical and have purpose, have moral standards. To realize you've got to check your mouth. Your mouth and your temper. How many people are now sitting in jail because they didn't let their mouth, they didn't control their mouth or their temper. They let their mouth and their temper dictate their actions. And because they were angry, enraged, and irrational, and now are living a life of regret for what they have done. See, you don't want to be regret or have to be remorseful when you could have been wise and made a wise choice. Yeah. So many things that happen to us in the run of a day that we could just let it get to us and let our mouth and our temper. How many people have gotten, or other people gotten them in trouble because they wouldn't? You know, there was a woman. It was on the social media a few months ago, and I think it was her boyfriend. Here was trying to get this settled. She called her brothers over, told her brothers to get him. Now she was just mouthing off, and she was at it, talking, be bad. So she called her brothers. Her brothers came over, jumped on her boyfriend, and I think he shot 2 or 3. Yeah. All because why? She couldn't hold her tongue, and she couldn't manage her temper. And sometimes you in this stuff that has you. See, now he wasn't doing anything physical to her or harming her, but she was sleeping on the phone and come get him, and I wanted to go. And y'all come over here, and here they come. He was ready for him. You have to be careful. You have to learn to manage your mouth, your temper. You have good behavior when you just fly off the handle, when you say anything enough to say. You're not managing your mouth or your temper when you say whatever comes to mind without first thinking about what you're going to say and how it's going to affect those who say it to and those who hear you say it. That's a fact, y'all. We got to get better at managing our tempers. And, don't just say. The worst time for couples to deal with a situation is when they're in a heated argument, that's not the time to talk. You need to calm down, cool off. In other words, temper subside, cool off, get the temperature down, bring it back down to normal. Don't get cold, because then you get frigid and, you say things too. Then control your mouth. Choose your words. Choose your words. See, sometimes, your words should speak. You don't need to be loud. Let your words get the message. Choose your words wisely. Anger is an uncontrollable emotion. You don't control your anger controls you. And because it is an uncontrollable emotion, you will say whatever comes to mind because you're trying to get revenge or harm the person you're angry at or with. It will cause you to say and do things you will regret later. Gotta control your tongue and control your anger. Couples should never try to settle arguments when they're angry. Doesn't work. You can't settle arguments when you're angry. No. Because you're too irrational. And you're not listening. And during those moments, you just want to be heard. You're not trying to understand. Nor be understood. You just want to be heard. You hear me? You hear me? You understand what I'm saying? Do you hear me? You're not trying to be understood. You're not trying to understand. You're trying, do you hear me? And just the fact they're hearing you doesn't mean you are heard. See, the words are coming out, but are they really hearing what your inner is saying? Sometimes people are crying out, and they're not being heard for what it really is about because of the words that are coming out of them. And it's causing to not. We got to talk respectfully. We have to learn to speak respectfully, wisely, choose your words, say what you mean what you say. Don't say in your meanness, say what you mean. Not say with your mean. There's a difference. There is a difference. And see you differently. Folks will deal with you differently. So, cultivate good behavior. And good behavior. As your actions. Avoid bad behavior. Police yourself before you police others. And then guard your mouth. Control it and your temper. And if you do that, you'll be cultivating good behavior. And eventually become your nature. You'll do it automatically. That's our lesson for tonight. Thank you all for joining. The Lord say this back tomorrow. So you all be ready to tune in tomorrow evening. I appreciate you for coming on. Thank you for your time. and your patience. Always, God loves you and I love you. Not a thing you can do about it. You're going to be blessed in the name of the Lord Jesus.
A moment of truth opened up my eyes. A moment of truth. A moment of truth, like the sunrise. A moment of truth. It's a new day. The world has made me new. My life is better. I finally found my way. A moment of truth made me realize. A moment of truth.